Don't you know what it means? 8 seconds in the rain, and I'm stuck in this world in time. Lift up my reasons with doubts and my feelings everywhere. There's no reasons in turning back. There's no reason just to quit. Fill my dreams tonight. Hey, nice to do this in Catherine. My name is Tommy Lewis, and friends, I'm back to tell you about our stories. So here we are telling you underneath the mango tree. Catherine is one of the most beautiful places, and it's where all the families we meet from all around them, from the west, east, and south, and also north. South of the Barrama line. And I was born down at the Roper in the 50s and brought up playing around in the rivers, and like all of us, we journey, and we journey beyond, sometimes in new places, sometimes in no languages, and sometimes different people, and sometimes it's scary, but you keep going, you know. You got to learn to saddle up your horse and keep moving through. And I got fortunate when I was 17. I went to Melbourne and I wanted to get my certificate in motor mechanics and diesel and marine engineering. I really loved that type of work. It didn't turn out for me in those days, all because I was learning the stuff that I already knew, and it made me kind of more confused. So I thought, hey, I'll go join the army and to get my certificate, which was a good sort of idea, but I had to come back and tell my mum that I'll be gone for a long time. And 7 years those days seemed to be a really long time. Yeah, so that day at the airport, I was coming back to Darwin. The flights were all cancelled, and I really wanted to get out of Melbourne, and but fortunately I met a film producer and director and his wife, who's a casting agent named Rhonda Skepsey. Fred and Rhonda Skepsey saw me at the airport and approached me and said, we would like you to act in our movie. And I said, I'm going back to Darwin. At football carnival time in Darwin, all the families together up in Darwin. And they said, well, but I'm coming back in 3 weeks, I said to them. And here's a card. You give us a call, and when you come back. And so I went back to Darwin, and at Bagot, it was after the cyclone. All the cement block was still there. And me and all my brothers were there. All the family were on this concrete block and waiting to go and play football the next day. And I said to them, hey, you lot, someone wanted me to do a film. And they all laughed and swore at me and told me to get lost. And so I did that. Next day I got up and I got lost. I went back to Melbourne. Yeah, my brothers. And yeah. So I went back to Melbourne and rang the people up, and they taught me a new world of which I never thought I'd step into. They're film actors before, like old Nosepeg, and Australia has a beautiful history of our family and people in the film industry, and especially in this region when you had Jeddah being filmed in the gorge up here. And a lot of our people used to travel to Sydney into the studio and lived in caravans in the back of the studio, all our mob from up here. So films were made up here. Robert Tudawali. So this part of the country is very rich in the history of filmmaking, and I'm really actually happy to be part of the notion of that history. And I fluked it. I was offered it, and thought I'd do one film, and that was the end of it. But it slowly built up, and then our mob, we shot Where the Never Never at Mataranka, and our mob was back into it again. Hooray! And the film will. And we've got a lot of beautiful actors up this way, and multimedia is a really great purpose and stuff to use. So when you use the multimedia, we can make family history stories, and they're all very beautiful stories. And yeah, and we've all gone through a lot of stuff to get brave to tell our stories. And this is the area that I love best, is to be able to capture stories and show it to the rest of the world, because it's very interesting, and people are interested in our culture as we are as much to theirs. And how I feel like that is because not only films, I do theatre, and I've been doing theatre since 82. But you see, I'm mixed up now, because I used to dance crockery and dance in the ceremony, and I dance in our cultural dance and fields is equivalent to the Western style of performing. It has its own theatrical rights, and therefore I can go searching into old stories or an English text. And I've been very fortunate, like making films in theatre. I do classics in theatre, which made me very feel, this is where literature makes you feel very, very strong. And literature is very important. Because I can do the old texts, old English text. It gives me some strength to work harder or easier to nourish our cultural world. So I'll flip the page back, I'll go back 1500 years, 1600 years. And all these stories were written, and they're equivalent to our story, and that's the fascinating bit. Here's one. Right now, there is 3 crows in the Tower of London, and if one dropped dead, they have to replace that crow, all waiting underneath those 3 upstairs. And I read it in doing Othello. Othello is based on jealousy. He's got a handkerchief. Now we sing the handkerchief. And jealousy is good in our mob. You can jealous all day. And it's a disease, you see. But it's as old as that handkerchief we hold amongst each other. And if we learn to let it go, then we become a better society, hopefully. You know, I don't know what anymore. I don't study what future is. But what I can do is enjoy my life and enjoy the cultural dance that we are part of. And I always have this saying, when I travel, I go and visit everybody's church. When I come back home, I'm constantly in a church. So country is the church. And I've learnt that by traveling overseas, playing music with different people all around the world, understanding their food, their culture. And I know this one, in this country, you and I are very, very lucky. We're very spoiled. We're very, I don't know, other people, of course other people want to come here, you know. The lifestyle we got, woo! Yeah, so, there's always problem. I've suffered a lot of stuff in my journey, and I'm happy to sit here alive telling you about it, because one of my dangers was drinking, and I drank a lot. I drank all over the place. I drank anywhere and everybody where. But I'm fortunate that I've come back alive. And then I put the grog down. Now when I put the grog down, that's the time when my life started to change and get back all the spirituality, and I could put back in my family instead of taking from them all the time. And that's the difference. That's what grog made me do. I took a lot and I didn't put back. But when I stopped drinking, I can put back so much in our families and trust families and go through the pain of families, you know, because in families there's always surprises, and surprises come nearly every day up this part of the world. So you've got to be on your feet and don't pick up any grog, because yeah, I'm very happy. I can sit here and tell you, I was no good before. I was really, yeah, I was a champion in being no good, and I loved it. But I've changed. I put on that grog. I can deal with family. I've got family again too. My daughter is 11-year-old. She hasn't seen me pick up a drink. So that's been nearly 15 years I've stopped drinking. And come back home and being part of Catherine community. A lot of family here. A lot of stuff. A lot of blackfellas. A lot of everything. And a lot of clever people. And I love this town because actually it helps me create songs, and it helps me play my characters and enjoy them and never do anything without the spirit. And if you do anything without any spirit, you're actually dancing wrong. You actually got to get the spirit to do your performance, no matter what it is. And that belief is an engine gate that opens the spirituality world for you. And you got to trust that, because all the religions of the world, some are formulated and come into this country, and we wash it back like the sea, and we share it. All the flowers that we grow are like languages of the world. And the most important thing is that, never mind I'm not really educated, I've gone beyond from learning from people, and people taught me how to read, and maybe we can look after the country, and especially the river. And looking after the river is the source of our life. And there's a lot of things to do. You can't have a church with no hymn singing in it. So you might as well go back to the boomerang and stuff. Nothing wrong with it. It's that you just got to let it go backwards a little bit to enjoy the cultural world. And then nobody takes it away from you. Nobody can. Only yourself. So I'm lucky. I've traveled. I've learned things. I've learned music while I was away. I got into trouble with families who thought I was selling secrets. All this nonsense. All this rubbish. But because I felt that I didn't sell anything, I felt I'm telling the truth, and I felt I did something about my drinking, that I could come back home and prove to my old people that, hey, yeah, what I'm about is being truthful and being strong and respectful to one another. You know, I don't want to go losing any bus. But here in Catherine, I feel very rich. I'm surrounded by beautiful people. Mad people too. I'm not going to make you mad all day, you know. Give me $2 or $5, you know. It goes on forever. But it's actually is a good place, and it's the best theatre training ground anywhere in the country. This is Catherine. Woolies on Thursday night would be a good place to dance. You want to come? 8 seconds in the dust, and I'm stuck in this world in time. What's good reasons in the night? Feeling the world in an emptiness. What's that feeling you get? Something's whispered in the wind. There's no reasons in turning back, no reasons to quit. 8 seconds in the dust. Love you, Catherine. See you.